Hickok45 here. How y'all doing? Back here in the woods with John, right? You're John, aren't you?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Wanted to make sure. But we're at an undisclosed location on the compound. And just happened to be a camera here, of course. So we thought we'd talk to you briefly about some of the events of late, specifically yesterday, because I know there's a lot of questions. Before we do that, though, we do have some meet and greets coming up, and we want to make sure you know how to know about those. They're always in the description of recent videos, so always read our descriptions. And with the first ones are at SHOT Show. We'll be there the week of SHOT Show. And it's on that Wednesday, and I think whatever the 13th. It's that Wednesday of SHOT Show. We got a couple with at the Federal Premium booth. So be sure if you're there, you get by and meet and greet us. And then we're going to be, when we get back, at Nashville Armory on the 6th, February the 6th at noon. What are we going to do, John?
Well, we're doing a live podcast. It's not going to be actually broadcast live. You have to actually be there for it to be live for you. But if you guys watch or listen to Gun Culture Radio on the Hickok and Son channel, you guys know Derek's going to be there, so it's going to be the three of us. Calm down, Mac. Come here. It's going to be the three of us. Dad and I and Derek is going to be there on the show, and so there's going to be a live podcast. Again, not broadcast live. And then immediately after that, we'll have a meet and greet. We'll talk to you guys and
meet and greet you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So if you're anywhere near Middle Tennessee, we hope to see you there. It might be easier to get to that than SHOT Show in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So
also, I wanted to tell them that I also, if you're watching this recently, if this is still a recent upload on this Sunday. I guess it's the 10th this Sunday? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay, well just look at the date of the video and they'll tell you if it's really this Sunday or not. I'm doing stand-up comedy at a place called the East Room in Nashville. So you can look that up. Check out the Hickok45 and Son Facebook page, and there's some stuff about that. It'd be a great place to come and read a book or something because it won't be very loud or anything. No one will be laughing. So
that's right. It's not G-rated, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's it's stand-up comedy, so.
Yeah. And it is the 10th, by the way. I'm looking at my calendar.
10th, okay.
And Las Vegas meet and greets are on the 20th. Okay, I was only off, about 7 days there. So yeah, anyway, we want to let you know about those. We always put those in the description, and we'll post on Facebook about it. So there's no excuse for not knowing when and if a meet and greet's coming on. And we don't always have one going on. So if you look at the description and there's nothing there, it's because nothing's going on.
But if we're appearing places or doing something like that, we want to, that's where we're going to announce it.
Yeah, so. As soon as we learn that we have one coming up, even if it's 2 months away, we may start putting it in the description. So anyway, I got that covered. And we wanted to thank everybody, for the assistance yesterday, because we're D-Day +1. Yesterday.
The great Hickok blackout of January 6th. Right?
Termination. I got terminated. We got terminated.
Yeah. I think maybe was
Skynet,
Arnold
around or something?
Yeah, I don't know. For a while, it felt like maybe Skynet or something sent somebody back from the future and terminated our account. I don't know. There was a lot of conspiracy theories. That was entertaining to watch all the conspiracy theories roll in.
Yeah. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny yesterday.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But looking back on it, and it's a good education too, in just how you, when you're on the outside of something, you don't know what you don't know. So like watching some of those conspiracy theories roll in, and us having the information about what the problem was, it was kind of entertaining.
That's right. Yeah. Especially after the channel is back up, but
right. And
boy, we have a lot of people to thank. I mean, it really was an event and scary. John will tell you, I've mentioned this so many times over the years, 7-8 years we've been doing this, how fragile this virtual world really is in a lot of ways, and you just don't know.
Yeah, and it's frustrating in a way because The Walking Dead isn't going to show up and their set's gone and they can't they can't do their show anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're The Walking Dead, but it's a TV show. Technically, it's a new version of it, and it's a little frustrating. Yeah. But that and YouTube is kind of like the only game in town as far as really getting a lot of exposure,
kind of coverage and exposure
for internet videos right now, at least. So you're kind of stuck with it in a way. So it's a little frustrating, but we do really appreciate that YouTube actually got on it and took care of the problem. And and largely, I want to thank you guys for that. I mean, like our viewers really came through for us.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it, but we're still not sure what actually caused it to come back to life. I mean, I sent emails. I'd been in communication with YouTube anyway, because I hadn't been able to leave a reply or write anything anywhere other than in a video description, for weeks. And so I'd been exchanged a couple of 3 emails to the YouTube partner support, and they were working on it and answered me, and were bumping it up to the next level and looking at it, as far as I knew, and everything. So I had those emails going, so that was good. And so I wrote 2 or 3 times very carefully, and when it was gone, I could still email them, of course, and even filed a what's it called? Not a complaint, but an appeal, I guess, on Google Plus. There was a place over there. Although the fact that everything had been taken down, it wasn't really covered in their 2 choices of what the problem was, But anyway, I filed there, and then we just waited for hours, and
we were actually on the phone. Of course, we were pretty anxious about it. We were not sure what was going to happen, but we were on the phone talking about it. I was in my house, and I just
about noon, wasn't it?
About noon,
12:30?
yeah, something like that. And I just so happened to, get on the computer and check again just to see, and sure enough, it was back. Like the thumbnails weren't showing up, but like I could see the videos were there, and I clicked on one and it was playing, and I was like, oh man, it was exciting. And I told Dad, of course. And
I went, and you just don't know. And I talked to different people, and there were other YouTubers who had trouble on Google Plus maybe, and got theirs taken down and then got it back, but you just don't know. Every time I look at that screen, it said terminated. Your channel has been terminated, not suspended.
It's an intense word, really.
Yeah, terminated is pretty intense. Ask Arnie,
Yeah.
And I remember it was around 11:30, and I had been, on the phone and answering everybody, I couldn't get back to everybody, and on Facebook, and I finally just, I'd been up since 3:30 anyway, just managing mail and different things, and I was just about worn out. You know what, I'm just going to go in there and just relax for a few minutes, and I did, and just kind of forgot about everything, didn't answer the phone for a while, and I was thinking, you know what, this really could be it. This really could be it, in today's climate, and you just don't know, you have no control. This could be it, and 8 years of what we put into the project, it could just be over, and so I was ready for that.
And we had the thing is too, we're kind of telling the story in a weird Tarantino style way, but and I really too want to, before we forget, I want to thank everybody for their support, like not just our viewers, which I give them so much credit for helping us.
And that might have been the difference.
It really might have, honestly.
That might be why we're here talking to you.
Right. It really.
Well,
really
we could be
might.
here talking, but we have no place to post it.
Right. Exactly. But I also want to thank some other content creators. I was texting Eric from Iraq Veteran. We were texting back and forth. He was making me feel better about the situation and commiserating with me. Zeke, I was in communication with him. And I know.
Is that the guy with the big head?
Yeah, the big-headed guy from that. What's that school? SDI. But and I know what Tom Gresham contacted you.
Yeah, Tom Gresham and I exchanged some mail. He was, concerned, offered. That was the thing that was. People in the industry and media, our sponsors. I mean, so many of them wanted to know how they could help. Bud's Gun Shop and Bill Frady. Tom Gresham, of course.
All the sponsors are really cool about it.
All of our sponsors, Federal, wonder what they could do.
Of course, we have to pay them back for the 6 hours that we missed.
Yeah,
but
really.
Not really.
Such, didn't you contact?
Such.
Plinkster, 22 Plinkster. Tim from Military Arms Channel.
Tommy, did you say Tommy?
Yeah, Tennessee Outdoors 9, 10 Outdoors 9. So a lot of people, and there are probably others we're forgetting. But we want to thank them because they're genuinely concerned and wanted to know if there's any way they could help. And then it is giving us what information they could, which wasn't a lot. And of course, a lot of people were just curious. Wow, what'd you do?
But it felt good to feel like we had people in our industry on our side and
a way to communicate with you.
Right.
Of course, we have the Facebook you saw, and then we got Hickok45 and Son channel. And so you all were communicating a lot via Facebook, both Facebooks, the Hickok45 and Son Facebook, and the channel.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you were making comments, asking what's going on, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really want to say anything until we knew exactly what it was. So that was why I didn't answer any of those. And of course, now if you're watching this video, you know what happened, and if you saw the Facebook posts and stuff.
Yeah, so you have an idea.
Right, because I didn't want to speculate, because there was a time where we weren't sure. I didn't think it was the government like everybody thought. There was never really a point where I thought that was a possibility. Not that they wouldn't be capable of something like that, maybe.
Right. And we can't, and we're not still 100% sure what it was, whether it was a glitch, whether it was as I understand, the robots kind of decide things. It's automatically if something gets flagged or whatever. And all that kind of thing, and in Google Plus or YouTube or whatever, and then eventually a human looks at it, and it may be that's the third step or fourth step or whatever. I don't know. There was the closest I can come is, as I said earlier in Facebook, apparently there was an issue with Google Plus that they didn't like, something that was getting posted there. Either it was erroneous, a glitch, or not, because I got a message just this morning about how my Google Plus account is in keeping with everything was okay, but they said if this is not your account, if we're looking at the wrong account, let us know.
Right.
And I said, well, I don't know. I gave them my email and name again, and they hear back from them, but I don't know. But then YouTube, when it came up, of course, they wrote and said, and that's what's very pleasing, was that we have reviewed the channel, and you are not in violation of our terms of service.
Right.
And we are
unsuspending
it. Yeah.
So we're in the clear.
Word.
Yeah. It basically was a mistake. People were. Yeah. The two big speculations were: one, the government shut us down, which didn't happen. Two, that had something to do with our sponsors, and then YouTube shut us down for that, and it wasn't that thing either. It basically,
or the gun video just posted.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Exactly.
Well, Remington got it shut down.
Yeah, what was it on InfoWars? I think the heading was something like Hickok45 banned after a gun video or whatever. So people probably thought we posted something insane, for a little while. And of course we did, but we took that down right away. No.
But yet we're, I'd hate to have to stake my life on what exactly caused it all. I mean, really, how it is.
Well, I mean, it seemed like some kind of YouTube or Google Plus algorithm. Like I heard someone say, or read somewhere on Facebook, somebody said that, talking about this situation yesterday, that Google has kind of a shoot first, ask questions later policy, and that does seem to be true, even with like small issues. Like there was a video on the Hickok and Son channel that wasn't monetized, or it wasn't eligible for monetization because of some kind of, it had some copyright violation. It was like a podcast. Like what? There's no music at all in that. And emailed them, and then they got right on it and took care of it. So it's like they have machines that use some kind of system to handle things, and then you have to actually make the complaint, which is not ideal, but they got right on it, took care of it.
So they shoot first, so you might get wounded, but then if you can get in connection with them,
yeah, exactly,
they'll patch you up, right?
Part of it might be because there's so many dead accounts out there on YouTube that they kind of have to just be proactive and take care of the problem, and then if it's not a dead account, then you'll make a fuss about it or something. I don't know.
Well, it would take billions of people to manage every
too,
account, of course. But but anyway, we're not 100% sure what it was, and we can laugh about it now, but again, it could happen again. It could happen to you on your channel or anybody, some of the people we've mentioned. And so I think we all need to be ready, and we appreciate you all jumping in there, because again, that might be the reason we're back on the air.
Right.
And you just don't know about this virtual world. That some of it's not all that gun friendly, and so I guess we're all a little skeptical anyway.
Yeah. And we also too, not just the people who contacted us physically, because some of the people in our industry, they actually, we know them on a personal level, and we have cell phone numbers and stuff like that. But there's people that we don't know on that kind of level that I saw in our industry that were posting very positive things on Facebook and articles and things like that. But there's something else too about that we wanted to briefly touch on, is we really found out who our friends are, and we found out we have a lot of them, and that was a really comforting and warming thing, to know that the industry kind of stuck together, and I would love for the chance, I hope that it never happens, but I definitely want to make sure that if this ever happens to anyone else, that we are behind them 110%.
Yeah,
but we found out some people apparently were not our friends in this situation.
Yeah, there were one or two that I guess they thought they might get a few extra clicks by putting my real name out there or something, which is not some big mystery necessarily. It's just a privacy issue is all. No deep dark past that anybody on YouTube is trying to hide, probably, at least that we know, by using a different channel name, but still just a privacy issue. And so there were a couple of people that thought that would be cool to post that, and like I said, we have good memory.
And the thing is, like, if it was someone outside of our industry, like let's say it didn't ever get this big, but let's say Fox News did a story on it, I wouldn't be as mad.
Yeah, they didn't even know about YouTube, or they hadn't even dawned on them, because so many people they want to get out there and they want to be famous as themselves or something.
Right. But if you're in our industry and gun media and stuff like that, then you know that if you know who we are, then you know that we don't publicize our real last name.
Yeah.
We go by, like I go by John Hickok, and you're Hickok45 or Greg Hickok, and we don't publicize that. So that's if
should be pretty obvious,
right? And if you see our real name out there, try to respect our privacy, but also remember that if you see that on someone's blog or something like that, they're probably not a friend of ours.
Yeah, they have no respect for us. It's just like people that steal videos. They're no friend of ours, of course. But anyway, I thought we'd mention that.
And I promise you, my shirt was not this dirty when I woke up today.
Until Matt got a hold of it. But anyway, that's kind of what we wanted to just kind of update you. I know we didn't give you a lot of information because, like I said, we're not 100% certain what all transpired, but we do know. We don't know whether it was the emails that I sent them. They got on it, and they reviewed it. It was maybe because they heard from so many of you. We don't know.
Yeah. And let's get to why we staged this whole scenario in the first place, because we want to promote our Facebook page. But this is a good time to mention Facebook. In all of its faults, it's a great place to get in contact with if something like this ever happens.
Right.
So search Hickok45 on Facebook. There's one for the other channel too, Hickok45 and Son. So
yeah. So there's places you can find out what's going on. And one of the positive things that has come from this is that we've been contacted by several people with some suggested alternatives, or not necessarily alternatives, but supplements. Something to kind of have a backup, which has been on our mind, of course. But we've got all the videos. But maybe there's some other options out there, 2 or 3 viable ones that we're going to look into, at least do some fact finding. We want to be and stay really on YouTube, if at all possible. That's where everybody is. Right. That's where you guys all are.
It's like Facebook. Yeah. People don't. There's tons of things about Facebook to not like, but it's where everybody is.
It's where everybody is. So it is much better to be where everybody is. That's why so many people have found all the firearms videos, because they're there and they're searching for them.
So to go off YouTube, it would.
Yeah, it would be
to go completely off of YouTube and not have a presence on there at all. It'd
have to be like no other alternative.
Right. It'd be like going into a dark corner compared to how bright YouTube is with that's where everybody is, like you said.
Yeah. So anyway, we're laughing today, but it was. It's kind of scary knowing just the fragile nature of, as I said, of the virtual world and of all that, and that platform and everything. Partly because we put so much work into it over the years and so much fun into it, and we have so many fine followers, and for it to just go away is really weird.
And I think it's a little bit, I almost come out of this situation a little bit more reassured, if I dare to say that, because I feel like if there ever was, we're living in a little bit scary times again. It's starting to feel like post Sandy Hook again, with all the gun control stuff that's happening right now. So I get that the timing was kind of weird. I get why people thought it could have been the government or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit reassured by how much support that we got for what happened. Yeah. If it was ever the government doing something like that, I feel like we have a very strong backbone of a gun media and just gun community and culture in general, all things combined, to really fight that.
Ready to act, really make our voices heard.
And I also think that because of all the viewers out there that we appreciate so much sending messages and contacting YouTube on our behalf, I think YouTube probably got a little bit of a wake-up call too. You don't just it was YouTube did, I think, everything that they were supposed to do, right? I'm not going to fault YouTube, but if YouTube ever got some wild idea to start taking down gun channels, I think maybe they have a little bit of a precedent that was set on what the repercussions might be for that, and a lot of people might be upset. So.
At least they're not going to be able to delete them in a
no
dark
one's
room
gonna
at night.
notice.
Nobody even cares.
Right, exactly.
Figure that one out. And by the same token, there have been some folks who have mentioned the First Amendment and how our First Amendment rights were violated and everything so badly. And I understand that people, and I don't want to get technical. I'm not a constitutional scholar or any, I'm not a scholar, period. You can tell that. But anyway, it's really, and again, in defense of YouTube and Google and everybody, it's their business. I mean, literally their business. And they started that business. It's been very successful. They set the rules, they set the standards, and anybody that wants to participate in that business and be on their front porch has to go by their rules. And if we inadvertently violated that or something about Google Plus, whatever, then yeah, we might have. I don't know, but it's their business. It's really not a First Amendment right, just like your YouTube business. Our YouTube is a kind of a business, We have all sorts of sizes, of course, of YouTube channels, but it's our, whether you call it a business or not. Of course, we make some revenue, so it is a business, and everybody does, I guess. We have a YouTube channel at some level. You set the standards for your channel. Right. It's your decision what people can do on your channel, what they can say. You set the filters. You delete or block people who say certain things. Maybe some people don't. They let it be a free-for-all. Others don't. We have kind of a general audience, a lot of young people, so we try to keep ours civil. But everybody sets their own standards. So, yeah, we do the same thing YouTube does and everybody else does.
Yeah, I think people get confused sometimes about what free speech actually is, and it means you can't be punished by the government unless you make a threat. Which falls into a different category. You can't. There's not going to be repercussions from the government. You can't go to jail for speaking out against the government or saying something they don't like.
That's right. We can speak our minds in this country,
or swearing, or you can't go to jail for that kind of stuff. You have to make a threat, which becomes like I said, it encroaches on a different territory at that point.
But we can decide what we allow, like on our property, in our business, and even in our vicinity to some extent.
Like if. It's just an example. If Walmart is owned by a very hardcore conservative person, and you go in there and start talking about how much you love Obama, he has every right to kick you out. Or vice versa. It's a private business. So
you're probably on a gray area there. But if someone came in there shouting profanities at their clerks, they would certainly be well within their rights to just escort them right out of there. And that person could shout about, First Amendment, censorship, all they want to. Yeah, it's their business. Like,
there's been different controversies about, people on TV shows, and they're stifling their First Amendment right because of something. Well, it's a TV show, it's a company, So.
It's a company. So most of you know that, but I think there's some folks that just think anybody can say anything wherever they are.
It doesn't mean you have to agree with it. That's the thing. You don't have to agree with something. Like if Google didn't want us saying things that we're saying, and they took us off for that reason. Doesn't mean you can't get pissed and disagree with it.
Exactly.
But it also doesn't mean that the government should step in and do something.
And I've left that comment or answered several people on Facebook that exactly whenever they were bringing that up. Say, I have written several times in the last day that it was scary, but it's YouTube's business and they can do what they want to. But then again, it's our part to let them know, hopefully in big numbers, what we want them to allow, and we can actually impact that.
Right.
So anyway, I guess we've rattled longer than we meant to, but anything else profound you wanted to say, John? Is that a firearm over there? Wow, dangerous, dangerous area.
Let's see, was there anything else?
I guess that was it. We haven't done this for a while. We were going to keep it brief.
I don't think
that's okay,
but
hard to do that.
So if we go away again, we'll keep it on the Facebook. Check and see what our statement is if something happens first before you jump to conclusions.
We will resurface somewhere if it happens.
Right. Okay. Right. Exactly. We'll never go away forever. Unfortunately for some of you guys, we'll never go away forever. So.
That's right. You haters, you gotta. Well, you don't have to put up with us. You cannot watch.
If we have to, we'll distribute our videos on VHS tapes. beta. Even
Yeah, hey,
if they have
works in
to.
Kentucky. You know, that's how
Yeah.
they're getting them. So,
Exactly.
oh, come on, Mac. Look at this dog.
Mac,
He's
come here.
crazy.
Come here,
He's
Mac.
crazy. Save me, John.
Come here, Mac. Come
John
here.
is an undisciplined dog.
I do. Come here.
So anyway, we've enjoyed y'all coming out into the woods with us here, and we'll talk to you later. Life is again good. Okay. So much for our 5 minutes.